Are we on? I think we're on. Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody. This is my first stream today. My name is Karim. I am a teacher here at Canadian College of English Language in Vancouver. It's about 3 o'clock almost in the afternoon. So good afternoon, good morning, and good night wherever you are in the world. So let's see. So I can see that we already have a few people in the chat. There's Rosa, hi Rosa, and Akram, and Furqat, Amin, Anna, Patricia. We have Elena, Radia. We have Lorem, MD Al-Obeidi, Navjat. I hope I'm saying your name right, Navjat. We have Catherine. We have Kursos. I think that's how you say your name. Carlos, Hussein, Nikki, Thu. There's lots of people. I'm very shocked and surprised by how many people are actually watching me right now. And thank you for giving me your time. Hello from Argentina, Karim. Hi, Anna. How are you doing? Very happy that you're here. Hussein is asking, where are you from? Why don't you try guessing, Hussein? Maybe we'll play a game. So try to guess where I'm from. Paolo. Hi, Paolo. Muradi is there. Hi, Muradi. Navjat, great. I'm happy that I got your name right. That's good. Mariana, okay. Kursos is Mariana. I'm gonna try. Mariano. I'll try to remember that. Nikki from Moldova. Hi, Rosa. Another Rosa. Who else do we have? We have Paolo. There's a lot of people. Lots of people here. So hello to everybody who's joining today's class. Thu, hi Karim, how are you? I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for asking. I hope you are doing well too. So yeah, lots of people. So this is my first stream, and I'm not really used to it, so I'm a little bit nervous. I apologize for that. And I'm just trying not to make any mistakes because I have a lot of buttons that I have to press and remember. Miguel is saying, I could notice different sounds when you said your name, Karim. Well, yes, that's because I'm saying my name the way that we say it where I'm originally from. So yeah, hi Karim, hi Noura, how are you? Hi from Ukraine, Vitaly from Ukraine. Hello, Hussein. Hussein says, I think you're from Egypt. So Hussein is guessing that I'm originally from Egypt. Let's see how many people will guess. Miguel, Rosa says yes. We're addicted to smart classes. That's good. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an introduction about myself before we start, since this is my first stream here today. So I'm a teacher at, again, Canadian College of English Language. I've been teaching here since 2012, so I've been here almost or just above 5 years now. And what else? I work in the same place that Sean does, right? So Sean and I work in the same building. Sean is actually my boss. And I used to moderate, if there are any people from the old days of Smrt online, I used to moderate sometimes in the chat. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. So I will be with you guys, hopefully doing intermediate English, which is around, according to Smrt levels, that's English Smrt 120 or Smrt English 120. Hassan says, I'm Algerian, by the way. All right, nice to meet you, Hussein. So yeah, so that's basically what I'm going to be doing with you guys. So today we will be doing vocabulary, which is mainly what I'm going to be focusing on these streams that I do. So mostly vocabulary and fluency related things is hopefully what I'll be sharing with you guys. Sean's big boss. Yes, Sean is the big boss here. um, Please, Karim, keep this class at this time, says Paolo. Okay, I will try my best, Paolo. This is a good time for me at the moment, so hopefully I'll keep it that way. But remember, you can always watch the classes after the stream later, right? So just go to the Smrt pages and you'll find the classes for all the teachers from stream on there. What else do we have? There's a lot of people joining in the chat today. I'm very flattered. Thank you very much. Rosa says, I'm from the old days. I remember Sean's last class in the afternoon. You were the moderator. Yes, I used to moderate Sean's classes, usually in the afternoon. And I think I remember you, Rosa. Hello from Damascus, Redwan. Sean is the big boss. Yes, he is. You look nervous, Karim. That is because I am. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm not used to streaming. It's a very nerve-wracking thing. So hopefully I don't mess it up too much today, right? Or hopefully you guys can be a little bit kinder with me on my first time. Rosa says, hi, Noriko, Karim's wife. Yes, that is my wife, actually. I just noticed that my wife is on the chat. So no pressure at all. Hi, new teacher. Hi, Milena. Nice to see you. Doria. Hello, good to see you. I'm Doria. Nice to meet you, Doria. And I think it's almost time to begin. So I'm just going to get into it, right? So today we're going to be doing vocabulary from, like I said, English 120. So, okay, I'm going to try to remember the buttons that I have to press now. I think I'm supposed to press this button. Yes, I think it's working. Okay. All right, so here it is. So let's begin. So I'm going to be going with you today over some vocabulary words. And this, again, this is from English 120. And the unit for English 120 is titled, where is it? It's titled Health and Body. So we're going to be talking about things that are related to your health and your body. So let's begin. So let's see what we have first. So let me just go full screen. And that didn't work. Okay, see, I'm making mistakes already. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Full screen. Is that what I want? No, that's not what I want. This is what I want. Here we go. All right, so let's go one by one. First word for today. What do we have? Ache. So A-C-H-E is ache. So the CH sound in this word is a K sound. So when you say it, it's a ache. And you want to say the A the same way that you say the letter, right? So A and then ache. Add a K to that. So what does ache mean? So this guy is standing here, this old man, and he's holding his shoulder, and he doesn't look to be very happy, does he? No. So ache, it says, my body has lots of aches. So what would be a good synonym for ache, do you guys think? Something close or similar to pain, right? So when you don't feel very good, something is hurting you in your body, you feel some pain, we say, I have an ache, right? Or something aches in my body. Maybe you would notice that it's very common that we sometimes add some words to the beginning of ache. So like a headache, if your head hurts, you say, I have a headache. If your stomach hurts, you say you have a stomach ache. So ache. Okay, let's see what else do we have. Active. Active. So the A sound in this word is a little bit different. It's not A. We don't say A in this word, right? It's more of a shorter A pronunciation. So A. So active. And the C takes a K sound again. Active. And the sentence, the example sentence here with the picture, we can see a picture with lots of people. Everybody is doing something in this picture. So some people doing some exercise, some people are stretching, some people are walking. It says an active lifestyle will improve health. So Active. What does it mean to be active? Now, notice that active is an adjective. So it's describing something, in this case, like we said, an active lifestyle. So an active lifestyle means that you're always doing something, right? Active means, it comes from the word activity, which means you're doing something. So an active lifestyle means you're busy, you're doing lots of things, things are happening. So in this picture, you can see lots of activities happening, or you can say that the people are very active in this picture. That means they're busy, they're doing something. Okay, let's see what the next word is. Affect. Affect. So notice that it's a short A sound again. So affect. And this is not the same as the word effect, which starts with the letter E. Effect. Effect, right? This is affect. And affect is a verb. So affect, let's see what the sentence is saying. The sentence is saying a person's level of physical activity can really affect their stress levels. A person's level, that means how much physical activity you do, how much you move, how much you exercise, for example, can really affect your stress levels or their stress levels. So affect means what? Affect is when something changes something else, right? So if something happens and it changes something, then it affected it. So for example, if I say to you guys, I don't care what you say, it will not affect my decision. That means it will not change it in any way. So affect. And please don't confuse it with effect with an E, because that's the noun, right? So affect is the verb, and effect with an E is the noun. Next word. Okay. So Shakil was saying change. Yes, very good. That's what it is. Navjot said effect is the noun and affect is the verb. That is correct, Navjot. Anyone want to talk to me to improve our language? Rosa is saying the result. Yes, it can sometimes mean that. It can sometimes mean that. But we're using it in the sense of changing something, right? So this is the meaning that we're looking for here today. Hussein says influence. That's another good synonym for affect, right? It can influence something, or it has an influence, because influence can also be a noun. So yeah. Okay, next word we have is allergic. And if you notice, there is a to between parentheses, because that's how we usually use this word. So allergic to. Allergic is an adjective, so you use it to describe, again, a noun. So it says here, I am allergic to cats. I am allergic to cats. And you can see in the picture there's a girl who is, whose, I guess, mother or somebody is holding her nose to blow in the tissue, and it says, I am allergic to cats. So what does that mean? Why would you sneeze if you see a cat? That means your body has a bad reaction to something, right? So a lot of people have many different allergies to many different kinds of food, for example. So for example, here in North America, a very common thing that people are allergic to are peanuts. So many people are allergic to peanuts here. They can't eat peanuts because their body is not going to have a very good reaction. Ardzang says, I have allergy to cats. Yeah, many people also have allergy to cats. I have a cat, so I am not allergic to cats. Shakil says, susceptible to. Yes, you could use it in that sense. Hassan says, sensitive. That could be another way to describe it if you want. BBM means blackberry. Okay. I have some weird comments in the chat sometimes. All right, next word that we have is allergy to. So allergic to is the adjective. Allergy is the noun. So like you see in the example here, and this very poor looking baby. Nobody likes to see babies in pain. But we need the picture for the word, hopefully to get across to you guys better. So it says, I have an allergy to cats. I have an allergy to cats. So notice that allergy here is a noun, right? Not like allergic to. I have an allergy to cats. So like we said before, you can say I am allergic to peanuts. You can also say I have an allergy to peanuts. It's the same thing. Next word that we have is aspirin. Aspirin. Zaid says, you're not really going to teach us pronunciation, are you? Well, no, that's not the point, but I will sometimes sound some words out because not everybody is going to get that. So I'm not going to spend too much time on pronunciation, but I might say the word once or twice just a bit clearly. Aspirin is popular for headaches. So aspirin is what people call these pills. A lot of people take aspirin for headaches, and it makes your headaches better or makes your headaches go away. Backache. So remember in the beginning we said the word ache. It's very common that we add a lot of words before the word ache to indicate or to show to people what it is that we are feeling the ache in. So my bed gives me backaches. So a backache is when you have a pain in your back. Shaquille says medication. Not really. Aspirin does not mean medication, right? So aspirin is a kind of medication, but it doesn't mean medication, right? Medication just means anything that you take, or anything anything that you take to make whatever aches or illnesses that you have go away or to control them. So it's not exactly the same, but it is a type of medication. Let's see what the next word is. So Band-Aid. Band-Aid is very simply what you see in the picture. So that little thing on this person's finger, that is called a Band-Aid. So I have a Band-Aid for your cut. So it's very common when people cut themselves, they put Band-Aids on. Now there's a difference between a Band-Aid and a bandage. Bandage is, as you can see in this picture, what this man has on his foot. So a bandage is usually is made of a white cloth, and it's usually much longer than a Band-Aid, and you can wrap it around lots of things. So I wrapped my foot in a bandage. So remember, bandage is the large white one, and the Band-Aid is usually the small ones that you just put on small cuts. Luciana says, I often have backaches. Yeah, so do I, Luciana. I have a lot of backaches, actually. I have problems in my back. Next word is bleed. So my nose is bleeding. My nose is bleeding. Bleeding very simply means when blood comes out from some kind of cut on your body, or not a cut, in this case from your nose. Sometimes your nose can bleed. So it just means when blood comes out. To bleed, right? My nose is bleeding. Next word, to catch a cold. Now this is more of a phrase really, right? So it's very common when we're talking about cold, we say that I caught a cold yesterday, for example, or last week I caught a cold. So to catch a cold, it doesn't mean you catch it with your hands, obviously. It just means that you got a cold. Right, to catch a cold. So I wash my hands a lot because I don't want to catch a cold. Luciana says, I have quite a big bandage on my leg. Well, I hope you get better, Luciana. Nobody wants a big bandage on their leg forever. Next word we have is cough. So cough is what this man on the left here is doing. So it says smokers cough a lot. Smokers cough a lot. So coughing, right? This is coughing. Let's see what the next word is. To cycle. So as you can see, between brackets or parentheses next to cycle, it says bicycle, which is where we get the word cycle from. And cycle is a verb. So to cycle very simply means to ride a bicycle, right? So when you are riding a bicycle, you are cycling. So I cycle to work, for example. I cycle to work when the weather is nice, which is not a lot here in Vancouver. But it is summer now, so there are a lot of people that are cycling everywhere. Okay, let's see what the next word is we have. Oh. Okay, so diet. Diet. So Asian diets have lots of rice. Now, a lot of people think that the word diet only means when you try to control or limit the amount of food or calories that you're eating. But diet can also very simply mean the what do you eat, right? So the types of food that you eat. So in this example, it says Asian diets have lots of rice. So Asian diets here means the kind of food typically eaten by Asian people, for example. So Asian diets have lots of rice. The type of food that they eat have lots of rice. Next word we have is disease. So disease is hopefully something that nobody gets. But a disease, so some diseases come from having an unhealthy lifestyle. So a good synonym for disease might be something like an illness, right? But a disease, I would say, is a bit more of a severe kind of illness, right? It's not, it's a bit more serious than having an illness. So things like cancer, for example, cancer is a horrible disease, but that is what disease is. Next word, exercise. So exercise makes me tired. Well, yes, but exercise also makes you healthy. So what is exercise? Exercise is basically when people do some kind of movement, right, to improve their muscles or to improve their body health and to just generally be in good health, right? So exercise makes me diet. I think the woman in this picture is doing yoga, or it looks like yoga to me. Next word is Rosa says, here in Italy our diet has lots of pasta. Yes, yes it does. I have an Italian friend and he makes a lot of pasta, so I know that is true. Shaquille says workout. Yes, workout could be a synonym for exercise. So yeah, good input. Fit. Next word is fit that we have. So fit, and as you can see between parentheses, it says in shape. So let's see what the sentence is. He is always at the gym because he wants to get fit. So if you go to the gym because you want to get fit, simply that just means you want to be in good health, right? Good shape is another way of saying that you are in good health. So that's why most people go to the gym. They want to be fit. Next word. So fitness, it says his level of fitness is very good. So you can probably tell from the sentence, fitness is a noun. So his level of fitness is very good. This means, again, he is in good shape. So fitness is the condition of being in good shape, right? The state of being in good shape. Or physically and healthy, physically strong, right? Or physically healthy. Sorry. Tawfiq says, hello Karim. Hi Tawfiq. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the class. And Amin says, and have big biceps. Yes, lots of guys exercise and they try to get fit because they want big biceps. But you should work equally on everything, right? Not only your biceps. Then you will, that might not look very good at the end. Okay, the next word. To gain, right? Or gain. So if we're talking about weight in this case, right? To gain weight. So it says people often gain weight when living abroad. So to gain weight is to become heavier, right? To get more weight on your body. To gain weight. Most people don't want to gain weight. Sometimes some people want to gain weight, but in general, most people they go to the gym, they work out, they exercise because they want to stay or to get fit, because they don't want to gain weight. They want to do the opposite, which is lose weight most of the time. Vitali says, no pain, no gain. Yes, no pain, no gain. My level of fitness can only take me downstairs and get me into the chair. That's funny. Okay, let's see what the next word is. So we have headache. So we talked about this before, right? Ache, stomach ache, headache, back ache. Turn down the music because I have a headache. So I think everybody here gets what ache, when we add some words to it, mean. The next word that we have is hurt. Hurt. So you can see this this woman is holding her back, and it says, my back hurts. So if something hurts, that means, again, it's just another way of saying that you feel pain in it, right? You have some kind of ache. It's not feeling good, right? You're having a pain in it. So my back hurts. My hand hurts. Next word. Itch. So mosquito bites make my skin itch. So usually when people get mosquito bites, what do? You stand there and you keep, some people say scratch, but scratching is, well, technically it's not scratching, it's itching, right? So mosquito bites make my skin itch. But in this case, if you notice, itch is a noun or a verb, right? So in this case, I would say, what is it? Is it a noun or a verb? Mosquito bites make my skin itch. What do you guys think? Noor Salim says sore. I think you were talking about the word before that. Yep, sore. Sore can be a synonym to hurt. If something is sore, then usually it hurts. It doesn't feel very good. But yeah, so itch in this sentence is a verb, right? So mosquito bites make my skin itch, right? That means it feels like you want to itch it, right? Or some people say scratch it, but I would say itch. Next word that we have is in or out of shape. So soccer players have to be in shape. So in or out of shape, if you are in shape, that's a good thing, right? So if you are in shape, that means you are fit, right? You are in good health. If you are out of shape, then that's the opposite, right? If you are out of shape, that means you are not very fit. You are not in good health, and you probably need to exercise. Furuh says unfit. So yeah, you can say you're unfit if you're out of shape. In our culture, it says if you're okay. I don't know what a balm is, but okay. Yep, I'm in shape. It should be, yes, I'm in shape. Oh, palm. Sorry, Shakil says palm. In our culture, if your palm itches, that means you will soon gain money. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I hope my palms itch pretty soon, because I could use some extra money. All right, next word, itchy. So itchy is the adjective, right? So if something is itchy, that means you want to itch it, right? So in this case, it says my eyes are so itchy because of my allergies, right? So she wants to itch her eyes, right? Because they feel itchy. Junk food. So I'm sure this is something that many people know, junk food. Most people, even people that are that have a very healthy lifestyle, they still like junk food. So eating too much junk food will make you fat, right? So unfortunately, yes, right? Things that usually taste very good are usually not very good for you. But yeah, junk food, right? So I'm sure all of us are familiar with it. Things like hamburgers and pizza and hot dog, all of these are examples of junk food. Next word we have is lazy. It says he is always late for class because he is lazy. So it doesn't really make you understand what the word lazy is very much from this sentence. But lazy is when you don't really want to do things that you maybe should do or things that you are supposed to do. So instead of exercising, you're like, no, I just want to sit here today and do nothing, or I just want to sit on my couch and watch TV all day or something like that. So this is laziness, right? Laziness is when you don't really feel that you want to put any effort to do something. Shakil says slow. I wouldn't say slow. I wouldn't say that slow is a good synonym for lazy, right? Slow might have a different meaning, really, depending on how you're using it. Arzang says lazy is the opposite of active. I would accept that. Yep, you can say that if you're not very active, you could be lazy. Next word that we have is lose. So remember we talked about gaining weight. So the opposite of gaining weight, which is what most people want to do, is to lose weight, right? So if you want to lose weight, you should exercise and go on a diet. Next word is medicine. So remember before we said aspirin, and somebody, I think somebody in the chat mentioned medication. So aspirin is a kind of medicine, right? So medicine are, as you can see in this picture, there's lots of pills that you can take. So that's what medicine is, right? Medicine is something that you take to make your illness or your sickness or a disease go away, or to try to control it, right? Some diseases, unfortunately, we cannot cure, right? But we can control them a little bit. So we use medicine for that. And I hope that nobody has to use this much medicine. That's a lot of medicine. Okay, the next word is to be on a diet. So on a diet. Again, this is a phrase. So to be on a diet. Diet here is a different meaning than the other one, right? So diet, before we said, can just mean the types of food that usually you eat. Here, to be on a diet, this is the kind of diet where you control, right? You're trying to control the kinds of foods that you're eating. Not too much junk food. Not a lot of food that has very high calories or high amounts of fat. So that's what being on a diet is. So as you can see, this plate of food looks very healthy. To some people, maybe not very delicious, but it's supposed to be very good for you, right? So this, to be on a diet, is when you eat specific food because you want to lose weight or to be fit or to stay in shape. To cure, Kulwinder says, to cure diseases, one ought to take medicine. Yes, that is correct. Painkillers, Nikki's saying painkillers with a question mark. I'm not sure if you're asking, are painkillers like a medicine? But yes, painkillers are a kind of medicine. Radwan says a couch potato. I think you meant when we were talking about lazy. Yes, I would say couch potatoes are a good example of being lazy. Okay, let's see what the next word is. So we have, the next word is overweight. So overweight, and this is an adjective again. So it says here what? It says the man is not fat, but just a little overweight. So when we say overweight, what we usually mean is you're a little bit fatter, right? Or you have a little bit more weight than what you should, right? It doesn't mean that you have too much weight that people might call you fat, but it's just a way of saying that you are not at the best weight that you should be at, right? You're a little bit overweight. So it says here, the man is not fat, but just a little overweight. Of course, you can also say you are a lot overweight, which is another way of saying fat. So some people might say that you are really overweight, or you're overweight by a lot. Next word. Overweight. Kulwinder says again, to have more weight than normal. Yeah, right? So that's basically what overweight means. Next word that we have is pain. So we've been talking about pain almost since the beginning of the lesson. So I hope you guys know what that is by now, right? So good synonym for ache, like we said in the beginning, right? When something hurts, something doesn't feel very good. Physical activity. So it says here, physical activity is important for health. So physical means something that you do with your body, right? So physical activity is any kind of exercise or activities that basically you use your body a lot for. So like in this example here, you can see all these people, they are doing some kind of exercise, and you can call this a physical activity. I'm just looking at the comments here. It's somebody, Vitaly, saying super overweight. Well, I guess yes. If you really want to describe someone that way, you can. Abdelmanan says, "How are you doing? I just came. Welcome, welcome, Abdelmanan. Welcome to class." All right. Let's see what the next word that we have is. Pill. So we talked about medicine and aspirin, right? So aspirin is a kind of pill, and as you can see in the picture in front of us here, all these black and red little capsules. We call these kinds of pills capsules. So this is a pill, right? It says, I don't like taking too many pills. So it's a kind of medicine. Push-up. So push-up is again, it's a noun. So push-up just very simply means what you see in this picture. So it's a kind of exercise, right? So a type or a kind of exercise that is very common, and it's called a push-up. So as you can see here, this man is standing, or sorry, he's on the floor, and he has his hands down, and he pushes up, right? And that's actually why we call it push-up, because you push yourself up off the floor. So a very popular exercise, push-up. Next word that we have is quite. So it says, my allergies are quite bad this year, right? So very different from quit or quiet, right? This is quite. So quite is just, it's an adverb. So it's, and it's just very simply used to emphasize something, right? So it's very similar when we use the word pretty to emphasize something. You know, when you say it's pretty cold, right? You can also say it's quite cold. So just like in this example, my allergies are quite bad this year. You can very simply say my allergies are pretty bad. It's the same meaning. It's a way to emphasize what you're trying to say. Diari says, hi Karim, hi Diari, nice to meet you, welcome to the class. Navjot says, completely. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but if you're talking about a different word for quite, that's not totally correct, right? So quite is not completely, right? It just means very. Think of it as a synonym for very, right? But not completely. I wouldn't say that it means completely. Arzang has a few things. He says fairly or pretty or quite. Yes, those are good synonyms for quite. Hello all, this is my first class with you, Karim. Talcha, very nice to have you in my class, and welcome. Thank you for coming. Hussein says very. Yes, very is a good example for quite. Okay, let's see what the next word is. Reduce, to reduce. So it says this medicine will reduce the pain. This medicine will reduce the pain. So reduce is a word that very simply means to make something less, right? So whatever amount that you have, to reduce it means to make it go a little bit less than what it is, right? So in this case, this medicine will reduce the pain. That means it will make your pain a little bit less. It does not mean that the pain will go away, right? Reduce does not mean go away. It just means a little bit less, right? Or it'll become lesser than what it used to be. So this medicine will reduce the pain. Reduce means decrease. Arzang says, yes, that's a good word for reduce. Lessen, Shakil says lessen. Vitali says to reduce costs. Yes, all of us would like to reduce all the costs in our lives. Decrease, yes. So yeah, all of these are good synonyms. Very good. Okay, next word that we have is called a scar. So I'm not sure if it's very clear or if you guys can see it in the picture or not, but above this this man's eye here, there's a bit in his skin that that looks like he had some kind of cut or injury before, and then it healed. But after it healed, you can still see a mark, right? So you can still see a sign that there used to be something there. And this is what we call scars, right? So a scar is just a mark that shows that you used to have some kind of injury or cut or something there, a scar. Hussein is saying is a mark. Yes, right? So it's just, that's it. Mark on the skin, very good. Rosa says he's Rosa said Karim is he's no more nervous. Actually, I still am a little bit nervous. I'm worried that something might go wrong, but I am doing much better than than the first few minutes. Thank you. Shakil says spot. No, I wouldn't say that spot is a good synonym for scar, right? If you say spot, people might more think of like spots that you get on your face. Maybe if you have something like the measles, which is a kind of disease, or if you have what are they called? Blemishes on your face or something like that. So yeah, I wouldn't really say spot instead of scar. Hassan also says wounds. I also wouldn't say wounds instead of scars, because a scar is a mark after, right, your wound has healed. A wound means that it's still a wound, right? It hasn't healed yet. It's still not very well. Okay, let's see what the next word is. Sore. And this guy is really sore in this picture. Okay, so it says, I should see a dentist because my tooth is quite sore. My tooth is quite sore. So if something is sore, again, it's just another way of saying that you feel a kind of pain in it, right? Or a kind of ache or something that hurts, right? So it's very common for a lot of people to say, for example, I have a sore throat, right? So you know how sometimes you wake up, maybe you have a little bit of cold, a little bit of a cold, or you just don't feel very well in your throat and it hurts. So it's very common for people to say, I have a sore throat. Sore throat, yes, like Patricia said, right? A sore throat. Shakil says hurt. Yes, all these are okay. So stomach, he eats a lot, so he has a huge stomach. And again, please notice that the CH in stomach is a K sound, right? Because I hear sometimes people say stomach, right? But it's a K sound, so stomach. So stomach is this part of our body. I don't know if you guys can see me. I don't think you can. But it's the same as in this picture, right? So the area that you see where the man's hand is, this is his stomach. And from the picture, I think he needs to maybe exercise a little bit. Next word, stomach ache. So we've said this word before, and you can see there are two different spellings for it. So some people will write it as one word, some people will write it as two, right? And that's fine. Either is okay. So I don't want to eat because I have a stomach ache. A stomach ache. Tummy. Kulwinder says tummy with a question mark. Yes, I've heard some people would say you have a tummy ache. It's more common if you're maybe talking to children to say a tummy ache, right? So tummy is a little bit of a kid's word that we use, but we would say stomach ache, right? So you would say I have a stomach ache, not a tummy ache. But yes, you can say a tummy ache, mostly for when you're talking to children. Diary says she's so sad that she has to leave. Oh, so sorry. Bye, Diary. Hope see you next week. And tummy. Yes, we said tummy. Okay, next word. Let's see what we have. Surgery. So it says, I am quite afraid of surgery. So you can see in the picture, it's a very serious picture. So lots of doctors, or I would say surgeons, and they are performing, or they're doing surgery. So surgery, as you can see, is what's happening in this picture, right? So surgery is when you go to a hospital, and usually you get the people that do surgery are called surgeons. They are doctors, but we call them surgeons, right? Because this is what they do. So surgery is usually when the doctors use this really, really, really sharp knife, which is called a scalpel, and they open up your body somewhere. And of course, depending on what they need to do, some surgeries are very easy and very simple, and some surgeries are very serious and dangerous. But this is what a surgery is. Rosa says operation. Yes, that's a very good synonym for surgery, right? An operation could be surgery. To cut the tummy. Abdul says to cut the tummy. Well, not just the tummy, right? Anything. If you cut anywhere, really, if you go to a doctor and they have to cut you open to do something inside of you, that's called a surgery or a operation. Let's see what the next word we have is. Swollen. 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 So swollen, in this picture, you can see this man is holding his hand, and it looks like part of his hand is red, and it's a little bit bigger than it should be, right? So this is what swollen means. Swollen is when you hurt yourself and the area that you hurt becomes a little bit bigger, right? So it swells, and that's where the word swollen comes from. So swollen, when you hurt yourself and the part that is hurt becomes a little bit, you can also say inflated, right? So a little bit bigger than what it should be. Swollen. Shakil says, I will be a great doctor, inshallah. Well, I hope you will be, Shakil. I hope you become a great doctor. Edson says, welcome from Brazil. Hello, Edson. Welcome to the class. Nice to have you here. Rosa says, surgeon is the doctor who does the surgery. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct, Rosa. Surgeon is the doctor that does a surgery. Let's see, what else do we have? Temperature. So it says he has a high temperature and is very sick. So temperature here is the same temperature when we're talking about the weather, right? It just means how hot or cold, in this case, someone is, right? So how hot or cold someone is. So usually the normal body temperature is somewhere between 37 to 38. It depends. Some people have it a little bit higher, some people a little bit lower. But the average body temperature is 37 degrees, right? So it says he has a high temperature and is very sick. Fever. So Patricia, Farouh, and a lot of people are saying fever, and that's not exactly correct, right? So fever is an illness, right? So fever is a specific illness. Temperature just means, what is the temperature? Is it, so 37 degrees, it's 100 degrees, it's 20 degrees, it's 10 degrees. So this is temperature, right? Temperature does not mean fever. Fever is an illness that you can get. Hussein says he is hot. Um, if you say somebody's hot, a lot of people might not understand that you're trying to say he has a high temperature. It just might mean that you're feeling hot, like the weather is really hot in this room right now, for example, and I say, oh, I feel hot, I want to take my jacket off. So if you want to tell somebody, or you want to express that someone is sick because he has a high temperature, I would not say that he's hot, right? So you would say he has a fever, that would work, or you could say that he has a high temperature. Radwan says, Karim, you have not told us where you are from yet. Well, I'll tell you at the end of the class. How about that, right? So I'll make a deal with you guys. So you guys can keep guessing, and at the end of the class, I promise I'll tell you where originally I come from. Noor Salim says, just for someone, hot can be attractive, Luciana. Well, yes, hot can also mean that you are very attractive, right? So if you describe somebody as hot, it can also be attractive, which is another good reason why it's not a very good synonym for temperature. Heat. No, temperature is not heat, because heat is only related when heat only expresses when things are hot. Temperature can be hot or cold, right? So you can have cold temperatures and you can have hot temperatures. So it's not exactly heat, but yeah. Okay, let's see what the next word is. Next word that we have is throat. So throat, I think all of you know, when we gave the example of a sore throat, it's this area here, right? So just like in the picture, the woman is holding her throat. I have a sore throat. The next word is a treadmill. So it says, I use a treadmill when I can't run outside. And very simply, as you can see in the picture, a treadmill is a kind of machine that we use to pretend that we are running, right? When we are just running in the same spot, right? So it's a machine that helps us run. So very useful in countries or in cities like Vancouver, where it rains all the time. Lots of people go to the gym and use a treadmill. Although I find a lot of people from Vancouver don't mind the rain. There's lots of people running out in the rain, usually. Thurain says, I think you are from the Middle East. Yes, I am from the Middle East. I think my name is a big giveaway. But Hussein was trying to figure out exactly where from. So that's what I'm keeping till the end. But yes, I am from the Middle East. Treadmill. I use a treadmill. Okay, sorry. Next word. So let's go. What do we have? Unfit. So we talked about this word. I think somebody in the chat actually mentioned this. So yes, unfit is the opposite of fit, right? So if you are fit, you are in good shape, you are in good health. If you are unfit, you are not. You are not in good shape, you are not in good health. Lots of people are trying to, everybody's trying to guess where I'm from now. Let's, I promise I'll tell you that. Let's just focus on the lesson and don't worry, I'll tell you. Okay, next word, unhealthy. An unhealthy lifestyle makes me tired. So again, unhealthy, unfit, right? Not in good shape, similar to those words. The opposite of healthy. Next word we have is vitamin. So healthy food has lots of vitamins. So vitamin, if you look at this picture, you might not understand what a vitamin is. It's not a fruit. But you get a very common vitamin that a lot of people know about from the fruit that is in this picture. So you can see an orange, and oranges are very famous for having vitamin C, right? So a lot of people eat oranges or they drink orange juice because they want to get their vitamin C. And there are many kinds of vitamins that exist in the world. So yeah, so vitamins, healthy food has lots of vitamins usually, which is why it's a good reason to eat healthy. JB87 says, oh my God, you are new. Yes, I am. Miguel Sobrazo says he's Canadian. People are still trying to do my where I'm from thing. Substances we need to stay healthy. Yes, Navjot, right? So vitamins can be considered a kind of substance that we need to stay healthy. Very good. Okay, next word we have is water. Now, please, this is notice that this is not water that we drink. Okay, so water here is actually a verb, which sometimes surprises a lot of people. But yes, right. So water is a verb, and very simply, it means when something. So usually it's very common to talk about your eyes, right? So you would say my eyes are watering, and it's not the same as crying, right? If you're crying, your tears are coming out of your eyes because you're sad about something usually, or you're in a lot of pain and it's making you feel overwhelmed or very sad. But if your eyes water, that doesn't usually mean that you're sad. So for example, a lot of people, their eyes water because of their allergies, right? So if you are allergic to something, sometimes it might make your eyes itch or water, right? So water here is a verb, and it just means that your eyes start to become a little bit watery, right? So water starts to come out. Next word that we have is weight. And weight is a noun. So weight is a noun, and very simply it means how heavy or how light are you, right? So depending on which country you come from, some people, they measure their weight in kilograms. Some people measure their weight in pounds. So this is weight, right? How heavy or how light something is. The next word, I think we are almost finished. The next word is weight training. So weight is the same thing, right? So how heavy or how light something is. But when we say weight training, weights in this example, weight is the things that we use at the gym, right? So weights are the things that we use at the gym. When you go to the gym, those really heavy, usually steel, sometimes it might be plastic, but those very heavy things that you lift to get bigger muscles, right? Those things are called weight. So weight training is when you exercise using weights, which is the thing that is in this picture, right? So these black things on the side here, these are called weights. This is called the bar, and these are weights. So you put weights on the bar, and then you try to lift it, and that's called weight training. Samuel Olivier says, no pain, no gain again. Yes, no pain, no gain. If your eyes are hurt, they can watering. I would say if your eyes are hurt, they can water. Yes, that's correct. Radwan also uses water in a different way, but it's also a verb, and he says, I have to water the plants outside. Yes, that's also how you use that word, right? I want to water, or I have to water. That means give water to the plants. I guess tear up is break into tears because of an emotion. Yes, you're right, Luciana. Tear up is usually used in that sense, right? Because of an emotional reaction. Not the same as your eyes watering. Okay, let's see what the next word is. I think we have two more words. So workout. I work out at the gym every evening. So workout is another way to say exercise or train, right? So to exercise or to train. Most people go to the gym to work out. Most people go to the gym to exercise. And I believe this is the very last word. We made it to the end. Wrap. So the W is silent here, and wrap. So wrap, if you remember at the very beginning, we were talking about band-aids and bandages, and I was saying that you wrap a bandage around your hand. And that's what it means. Wrap is the motion of putting something around something else, right? This is wrapping. So like you can see in this picture, he wrapped a band-aid around his finger. So the action of putting something around something else. That is wrap. And we did it. We came to the end. I think we still have enough time to do an exercise, or maybe a little bit of an exercise. So let's see. It says, we are wrapping it up with the word wrap. Yes, that's a very good sentence. We are wrapping it up with the word wrap, Noura says. But wrapping, she's using two different meanings of wrapping here, right? So wrapping it up, to wrap something up, that's a phrase, and to wrap something up means to finish, right? Or to end something. To roll can mean yes and no. Sometimes yes, but not always. So roll can mean wrap in some instances, but depending on your sentence, not always. And roll up. All right. Okay, see, now this is where I go into some technical difficulties because I'm trying to remember what buttons I have to press right now. Okay, hold on. Let me figure this out. I'm going to go F11, and I think this is it. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. Lane Clark says, congrats on your first stream, Karim. Well done. Thank you very much, Lane. I appreciate it. So Lane is the CEO here at CCAL, and apparently he was watching me. So yeah, no pressure at all. But thank you, Lane. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into the exercise. Before you guys leave, let's get you guys to do a few things for me here. So I think you can see this, right? So let's try to go full screen. And there we go. Okay, so if you guys can see this, let's try to answer from A to E. So very simple, just choose the correct vocabulary word that would fit into these sentences. So please in the chat, just make sure to put the number so I know which one you're answering. And I'm going to pop out now for a second if I do this correctly. Let's see. So I'm going to take myself out. I'm out. Okay, we're back. So I see lots of answers here in the chat. All right, so a lot of people are saying number one is surgery, or A is surgery. Many people are saying surgery for number one. All right, so let's see. It says, the doctor told me medicine can't fix the pain in my back. I need to have surgery. And that is correct. So well done on that. For B, it says, she is a little sick now because she, and let's see what you guys have here. So Luciana says had. Arzang says, oh no, sorry, that's not it. Okay, Arzang says caught for B, caught. Who else? Navjot says caught. A lot of people are saying caught. Caught. Yes, lots of people are saying caught, and that is the correct answer. So she is a little sick now because she caught a cold a few days ago. So this is the one for catch a cold, but because it's a few days ago, so it's in the past tense, right? So she caught a cold a few days ago. C says, on the weekends, I love to something along the road beside the beach. And we have some people here. So Navjot says cycle for C. Noura says cycle. Kulwinder says cycle. Where's C? C answers. C answers. JB says bike. I don't think we did the word bike today, but okay. Talcha says cycle, and Furuh says cycle. Lots of people are saying cycle for C, and again, that is the correct answer, right? So on the weekends, I love to cycle along the road beside the beach, which means to ride my bicycle, right? D says, the doctor gave me something for my headaches. The doctor gave me something for my headaches. So people are saying pills. Some people are saying pills. Pills. Somebody said aspirin. Radwan says aspirin. Furqat says aspirin. For D, who else do we have? Furuh says pills. So I see Kulwinder says painkillers, but we did not do that word today. Medicine, JB says medicine. Aspirin. pills, lots of people saying. So I can see that a lot of people are sort of, it's a mix-up or it's a choice between pills and aspirin. So let's see. So the doctor gave me some pills for my headache. That could make sense, right? So if this was the only question, you could have said pills and it would have worked. Aspirin is usually used for headaches, so that also would work. So if this was the only question in the exercise, both of them would be okay. If you only had to use one, maybe we needed to use the other somewhere else. But yeah, so I would say both answers are fine here. So the doctor gave me some pills for my headache, or the doctor gave me some aspirin for my headache. Now somebody said some medicine. The doctor gave me some medicine for my headache. That would also work because really pills and aspirin are types of medicine. So I would say that's an acceptable answer too. The last question says, I don't want to speak too much today because my throat is really, and so some people, what do we have? Some people are saying sore, okay. Luciana also says sore. I'm trying. It's very hard. It's very hard trying to find the answers in the sea of comments that is in front of me. But that's a good thing. I'm happy that you guys are interacting. That makes this fun. Navjot says also sore. Who else do we have? Shakil says soaring, but I think you wanted to say sore. Arzang says sore. So lots of people are saying sore for Noura says sore. Lots of people are saying sore for the last one. And again, that is correct, right? So I don't want to speak too much today because my throat is really sore. So good job, everyone. Very well done. So I think it's 4:08. I think I'm already over my time here. But all right, so let's just do one more exercise. So I'll give you another 5. So we'll and hopefully we'll like someone in the comments said, we'll wrap this up very quick. So one more time, let's do the next 5, and then after that we'll be done. So hold on, here we go. Okay, and and we're back. So let's see what you guys did. Lots and lots of answers. Okay, so let's see. F says, my eyes itch and something a lot during the spring. So lots of people I can see have got this one. Luciana says water. Thu says watering. JB87 says water. Water. Lots of people saying water. Adil Minam says watering. So yes, my eyes itch and water a lot during the spring, right? So itch and water a lot during the spring. G says if your leg is sore, you should something around it. If your leg is sore, you should something around it. And what did you guys have? So Noura says wrap and then bandage. So if your leg is sore, you should wrap a bandage around it. Rosa says wrap a bandage. Kulwinder says wrap and bandage. Paolo, wrap and bandage. So a lot of people seem to be in agreement on wrap and bandage, and you guys are right. Well done. So it says if your leg is sore, you should wrap a bandage around it. H says because it's raining outside, I stayed home and ran on my something. And I already know, I've seen a lot of people answer this one correctly. So Arzang says treadmill. Paolo also says treadmill. Noura says treadmill. Navjot, Kulwinder, everybody's saying treadmill, and you guys are right? So very good. Excuse me. Because it's raining outside, I stayed home and ran on my treadmill today. I says I am taking something for my cough. I am taking something for my cough. So what do we have? Isaac says cough syrup, okay, but we did not talk about that word today. But yes, actually, right? So very common medicine is cough syrup, but that's not the answer. So so let's see, what do we have? Somebody else says some syrup. Everybody knows the cough syrup apparently. Navjot also says syrup, which is Paolo says that's very interesting. Everybody is saying syrup, and we didn't talk about this word today, but a lot of people are saying syrup. Just to clear things up, you can't say I'm taking syrup for my cough. If you just say syrup, most people will think you're talking about something like maple syrup or corn, like something sweet, right? Syrup is, most people would think that it's something sweet. Cough syrup, if you really want to say syrup, you should say cough syrup. But the answer for this one actually is I am taking medicine for my cough, right? So I am taking medicine. So JB87 actually got that correct. Very well done. Shakil also said medicine. And I think that's, yeah. So medicine should have been the answer. And if you want to say syrup, remember it's cough syrup, not just syrup. Jay says my finger is something because I cut it on a knife. My finger is, and many people said, Farouh says bleeding. Hussein says bleeding. Talcha says bleeding. Rosa says bleeding. A lot of people are saying bleeding, and that is the correct answer. So very good. So my finger is bleeding because I cut it on a knife. And I think that's it. So I think I went a little bit over time, so I apologize for that. I will try to stay within my 1 hour limit for next time. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I just want to thank you. I want to thank everybody for joining me today on my first live stream. It was a little bit nerve-wracking in the beginning, but I started to have fun, and I'm very happy to have been here, and I enjoyed my time. So I think I'm going to be here every Wednesday. So every Wednesday, I think same time at 3 p.m. Vancouver time. And yeah, so thank you guys again very, very much. Please remember, if you like the things that we do here at Smrt, subscribe to our channels, hit the like button, and share our videos so more of your friends can find out about it and come join. And if you guys are hungry after this 1 hour of learning English, I actually have another YouTube channel on YouTube called Food AF. And that's a channel where basically I host a cooking show. So if you're hungry or you feel like you want to eat something, please check me out over there. And I think I'll leave the link for that somewhere in the description of this video. So that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for coming today. I really, really appreciate your time that you gave. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. By the way, before I forget, I promise that I'll tell you guys where I'm from at the end of the video. So I think Hussein guessed that originally I'm from Egypt, and Hussein, you are absolutely right? So so I am originally Egyptian, and yeah, and that's it. So I just came back so that I don't break my promise to you guys, and that's it. I'll see you next week. Have a good day.